Okay, so today we're working on a 1994 Mercedes-Benz G320. This vehicle is in immaculate condition. It's been imported from Japan. They were never sold in North America. And it's here for a noise in the engine. So we're going to listen to this tapping noise. If I reach in here and operate the throttle. Hoping that a sound is recorded on video. So the engine is cool now. I just drove it in from outside. It's -5 Celsius. So I suspect it's upper end noise. It doesn't seem like it's in the valve train. It seems a little deeper than that, like a piston knock, wrist pin or something like that. But I'm going to try and isolate which cylinder it is before we do internal diagnosis. So I've got the ignition coil cover off and the air induction system off. I'm going to run it like this. I wanted to try and kill cylinders one at a time to try to isolate which cylinder the knock is coming from prior to pulling this engine out and apart, so we can concentrate on a specific cylinder. Now this is a waste spark ignition system, so I'm going to start by disconnecting each ignition coil while it's running at the RPM with the knock present and see if I can isolate it at least at first to a pair of cylinders, and then we'll try shorting cylinders one at a time with a jumper wire. So plan B. Disconnecting the coils while it's running causes it to shut down the driver for that coil, and it won't turn it back on unless you restart the engine. So I'm going to try disconnecting the fuel injectors one at a time because they're fairly convenient to get to, and hopefully when it shuts, it won't shut down an injector drive circuit, it'll reinstate it. So I got to set it up so that it's running at a fixed RPM with the noise present, and then try disconnecting each injector. It seems like number 2 cylinder injector unplugged. So it seems louder with loudest or quietest with number 2 injector unplugged. So I noticed with number 2 injector disconnected, the knock diminishes significantly. I never could get the number 6 one off because it's underneath a bracket, but definitely makes a difference when I disconnect number 2 injector and number 2 cylinder stops firing. It is also quieted down now the engine is warmed up, which again would tend to lead towards a piston knock, a cracked piston, scuffed piston, something along those lines. It's a light metallic tick, not like a rod knock, but anything's possible. So next step is to remove the engine and disassemble for an exploratory. Should be fun. So today we're going to remove the engine from this Mercedes G320, and I've taken the skid plate off the front here. There's 6 bolts holding it. You can see the evidence of a coolant leak in the right front corner someplace. We'll have to investigate that before we put it back together. It might be coming from the rad or the upper hose or something. Disconnect the tranny lines off the transmission pan, the braces off the side of the engine, remove the inspection cover, remove the exhaust, 4 exhaust spring-loaded bolts. I'm going to have to extract broken bolts. 2 of them broke. One is spinning. I'm not sure if there's a nut on top. I think there's a nut on top. And bell housing bolts from down here. And hopefully we can turn the engine and access the torque converter bolts through that inspection hole. We will see. There are actually 10 bell housing bolts. 2 of them I left in because they're difficult to get in the holes. I left them in. They're removed from the actual engine, but they're still in place. One of the starter bolt matches this one. Note that there are 2 slightly longer bolts compared to the other. The 2 slightly longer bolts go in the bottom of the engine oil aluminum pan. The rest of them all appear to be the same length. I'm not sure about the one in the about 12 o'clock position that I left in the bell housing because it's going to be difficult to reach. So as we're removing the rad here, I'm kind of paying attention where that what appeared to be antifreeze was coming from, but in reality it's AC refrigerant dye. So you can see it on the AC pipes up there. That lower AC pipe appears to have a hose clamp on it. So maybe we'll have to investigate that when we've got the rad and the engine out of the way. So we're just looking at the serpentine belt routing for future reference. I know it's in the manual, but this is much easier. Well, there it is. It's out. Had a little bit of difficulty. The torque converter was stuck in the tranny, or stuck in the back of the crankshaft, but that's no big deal. Left that motor mount in on the left side, but it is unbolted from the bottom. The right one I left attached to the engine. So we're going to have to swap a bunch of parts over, obviously. He's got a new water pump, and we're going to take this cylinder head off this engine and put it on the other engine. The exhaust manifolds look similar. They look similar on this engine. I got 2 broken studs here, this stud in here and this stud in here, and 1 stud is stripped on this manifold. So if those manifolds are the same, oh, I see they're not. This one's got air injection, so I won't be able to use them. Yeah, no air injection on this one, or it's different. Yeah, this has got a different head even by the looks of it, because this air injection tube goes right into the cylinder head. Let's have a look at this one here. Oh no, that's the same. But this one has a secondary air injection pipe that goes in to the exhaust manifold, so we're going to have to use that manifold.